So, my name is Riley, as you all know. So today I'll be doing this speech. It's actually not scripted, because I'm just terrible at getting things on paper. So, when you... I want to begin by asking this question. When you think of a language that the majority of people want to learn, what comes to mind?
English.
English.
French? Spanish? Mandarin?
Yeah.
German.
Mm-hmm. You get the point here, right? Mm-hmm. But no one ever like thinks about, no one ever thinks about Norwegian as their choice of language to learn. And I think that's a big shame because it's such a, not only is it again, this is my opinion, just so you know, but if you don't think the language is beautiful, I totally respect your opinion. But it's a big shame because the language itself has like a very unique history. It comes from the Viking Age. It's got all these beautiful, kind of phonetics that English doesn't have, or most languages don't have. My journey into Norwegian began in 2019 at the age of 16. I will say it started when I found a video of 10 easiest languages to learn, and it said, not only is Norway population just over 5 million, if you go to Norway, the majority of Norwegians will speak pretty good English, and I think that's true. But then, again, they pointed out that makes the fact that learning Norwegian is useless, which kind of brought me the idea that we need to save this language, because if there's no practical use for it, then no one's going to learn it, and it's going to decline in speakers. Now, before I continue with this speech, I would like to show you guys an audio clip that it was one of the first audio clips that I found that kind of just got me into the language. And, so, here it is.
Morgen får vi stort sett nordvestvind. Den kan være ganske kraftig både i fjellet og i lavlandet, og vi får nok opp igjen stiv kuling vest for Kristiansand eller Mandal. I fjellet får vi nok også opp igjen en liten kuling utsatte steder. Men nordvesten, det gir mye fint vær. Vil nok være litt skyer her i vest og kanskje litt bygevær, særlig først på dagen. Men muligheter for å se litt sol her også. Så bortsett fra vind så ser det ut til å bli en riktig fin dag. Temperaturene, de på vei nedover.
Self-explanatory stuff, isn't it? So I would say kind of the intonation of the language, it really got me. And I just remember, like, thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this language is so beautiful, like, great, like, first of all, it's easy. I've actually been studying Norwegian for 15 months. I find it pretty easy. I would say when I'm in the choir and I look at a Norwegian text, I'm like, okay, this is easy peasy, like, I can just comprehend this and figure out how to pronounce things. But, enough about that. What makes this really, really shameful is the fact that, a lot of young Norwegians these days, even a lot of young Norwegians under the age of 25, are willing to transfer over to the prestige language of English. And there's a phenomenon that I am going to explain called gradual language death, which is when a language gets replaced by it, like the language with higher prestige. So let's say Norwegian people come in contact with English, which has a higher, kind of prestige. That community remains bilingual for some time, but with each successive generation, fewer young people are going to speak Norwegian to a, fluent level of proficiency because they opt to use the prestige language instead. And then it will come to a point where one day the community's traditional language is no longer spoken. And unfortunately, I feel that Norwegian is going down this path because a lot of young Norwegians are willing to switch over to English. They're not seeing it as a language that could get them anywhere, which makes sense. But at the same time, this is your language. This is your culture. If this language dies, we're never going to see the culture the same way again. Think about all the food names or the song lyrics that you see. If that language disappears, we're not going to see it the same way. We're not going to, we're not going to see it in the eyes of, we're not going to, I think culture is more than just trying out the food, getting used to folk dances and stuff like that. If you want to know the full aspect of a culture, you need to know the language, the beauty of the words, and the vowels and the syllables and the now I know what you're thinking, okay? I know what you're thinking, okay, those harsh sounds, Norwegian is not beautiful because it's got all this, but really, if you're gonna learn about the culture, you have to immerse yourself in kind of that language, that when you learn the words, you're gonna know what, and you know the meaning of certain combination of letters that are put together in words and stuff. You're gonna know, okay, this is what this name means. This is what that name means. But if that language is not taught, we don't know. There's gonna be a lot more stuff that we don't know. And I think, I have a partner she's my best friend. I still work with her today. She's just really busy with upper secondary and stuff like that. But I remember last March, she told me, you know what, Riley? I wish my sister was into Norwegian as much as I am. All she cares about is English. And all she listens to is, English music on the pop charts. She doesn't view it as a special language. She doesn't view it, she doesn't view it as something special. She just views it as her mother tongue. Well, I am proud to be Norwegian and I view it as something special to me. And at that point I was like, okay, this is, it was very heartbreaking when she told me that, and it still breaks my heart thinking about it now. And I said, okay, my mission to save this language has become, much stronger. And I will do whatever it takes. However, I'm only one person. And which is why I need you, as Sons of Norway, as Norwegian Lodge members, I need your help. I can't do it by myself. The best way to spread the language is not only to learn it, but also the best way to save the language is spread. We need to spread it to a greater audience. We have to spread it, pass it down to the next generation, pass it down to our ancestors. We have to motivate a community and be aware that, hey, this is our language. Take a moment to learn this language. And if we reverse the gradual language death and we gradually spread it to a greater number of people, by the next few centuries or so, it could probably increase up to about 5,500,000 to about 6 million or so. Norwegian may be a safe language now. However, the time to act is now. We must act accordingly, and we must rescue this language at its position before it's too late. Thank you very much.
Tordis has left the meeting.